A 67-year-old US citizen was left with multiple broken ribs and internal bleeding after ICE agents dragged him out of his car and forced him to the ground during an immigration sweep in Chicago's Old Irving Park neighborhood. Again, I just want to repeat, these are ICE agents targeting a 67-year-old American citizen.
Yeah, so look, they say that they want a justification. Do they have a justification? No, I don't think so. We'll find out. Did they have any identification? We'll find out. Was there anything legitimate in this? We'll find out.
Before I give you more details on this incident, I just want to remind you all that, or maybe you haven't even heard about this, but the Trump administration is displeased with ICE. Why are they displeased? Well, they have implemented a 3,000 arrest a day quota, and they feel that ICE isn't being aggressive enough, even though their tactics haven't just, essentially traumatized and terrorized people who are here illegally. It's also happened to American citizens. So congratulations, America. So the violent debacle played out in front of children who were gathered for the neighborhood's annual Halloween parade. And according to DW Running Club, the man who has yet to be identified is one of their athletes who was actually on his way home from a run. Sounds dangerous. One of our athletes was on his way home from a team long run yesterday, and as he turned onto his block, found that border control had the road blocked. The agents threatened to break his window if he didn't move his car. Before he could act, they pulled him out of his car, knelt on his back, and subdued him, though he never resisted. I mean, we witnessed ICE agents do that to a local reporter in Chicago as well. That was a video that we showed you a few weeks ago. Before he could act, they pulled him out of his car, knelt on his back, and subdued him, though he never resisted. They broke 6 of his ribs and caused internal bleeding. Remember, we're talking about a 67-year-old. He's a runner, doesn't mean he's a weightlifter. And ICE agents decided to treat him this way because, I mean, who's gonna stop them, right, Cenk? I mean, these guys are totally out of control. Whether you're an American citizen or not, they don't care. A few weeks ago, we also shared that story of a US veteran who got detained for days after a raid happened on a marijuana farm in California. And he was like, I'm an American citizen, I'm a veteran. They didn't care. He looked Latino, so we gotta detain you and throw you in a jail for several days.
Yeah, the 2 things that I'm most concerned about is, one, they're starting to treat American citizens as collateral damage. So, I talk about the Israelification of our policies. This is partly what I mean. Like, well, we had to go get the undocumented immigrant that's been here for 10, 20 years working on a construction job. So we hurt a bunch of Americans on our way because, hey, they're collateral damage. If you're going to get the bad guys, you're allowed to do anything you want to everyone involved, including American citizens. So that's deeply disturbing. And number 2, they're working at a construction site. They're not bad guys. You might want to get them out of the country if you're a right winger, etc. But this is not the way to do it. And they're not bad people, okay? But I know some of you won't believe that. And Anna, the other thing I'm concerned about is no identification. I'm literally worried about Halloween when people are going to go dressed up as ICE and do God knows what, right? So this is a mess.
Meanwhile, on that same block, Border Patrol agents were also like squaring off with neighbors and parents, like just terrorizing the neighborhood. ABC News, in fact, confirmed footage showing the agents using tear gas and tackling people for arrest, and that includes American citizens. In one video confirmed by ABC News, resident Carlos Rodriguez is heard yelling at agents, "You're scaring our children to death." Again, they were gathered for Halloween festivities, and these kids are witnessing what our government's all about.
These days, yeah.
Yeah. One man, Carlos Rodriguez, also told the Chicago Tribune that upward of 25 kids and their families were present trying to enjoy a block party. Big mistake. They're terrorized right now. How do you explain that to a child? And according to the Department of Homeland Security spokesperson, Tricia McLaughlin, agents were, they were just deploying crowd control measures to protect themselves from all those dangerous children celebrating during the block party. Let me give you their actual statement. During the operations, Border Patrol agents were surrounded by a group of agitators. Federal law enforcement issued multiple lawful commands and verbal warnings, all of which were ignored. 2 US citizens were arrested for assaulting and impeding a federal officer to safely clear the area after multiple warnings and the crowd continuing to advance on them. Border Patrol had to deploy crowd control measures. They're also known to lie. So for instance, the local news reporter who was thrown to the ground and violently arrested by ICE agents a few weeks ago, they claimed that she had thrown objects at the ICE agents. Later, they let her go without any charges because she hadn't done anything wrong. She was like a middle-aged local news reporter. Okay, she wasn't some activist, she wasn't part of Antifa, she was there doing her job and she got brutalized by ICE. It's insane. Now, I'd love to know exactly how ICE is protecting the children as they do this. This was actually a discussion that we had on CNN recently. Let's take a look.
I mean, the big question is, will this push them toward tactics that are,
I mean, we're already
illegal in some cases.
I mean, listen, we're already seeing the tactics being used. I mean, we see the images on the streets all the time. You actually see these agents surround people who are brown and simply ask them, what country were you born in?
ICE has just been given tens of billions of additional taxpayer dollars in order to expand their operations. First of all, I don't know where the 3,000 number comes from. It seems pretty arbitrary. I don't know why they set that goal. But we already know that ICE's tactics in an effort to engage in this mass deportation has led to American citizens getting detained, sometimes for days on end, begging the authorities to consider the fact that they're actually American citizens. I'm worried about these actions infringing on the rights of American citizens. It's one thing to want to deport people who are here illegally. It's another thing to deploy the types of tactics that we've already seen. And I'm worried that with this latest news, they're going to expand that and harm even more people.
In Chicago.
So ProPublica actually investigated this because I hadn't seen reporting that gave you a full picture of how many American citizens have been victimized by ICE's more aggressive tactics. And what they found was that there have been more than 170 incidents involving Americans who were detained by ICE agents. This was just in the first 9 months of Trump's second term.
Yeah, so it's much worse in Chicago than other places. So if you live in another place, you might be wondering what's going on. ICE has swarmed Chicago. I think it's partly because Trump wanted to send in troops but couldn't. So he's like, oh yeah, then I'll send ICE to terrorize you, because he can legally send in ICE. That's not the issue, okay? So the fact that they come in with no badges, no names, no identification has already led to several rapes of women with people pretending to be ICE agents. I can't stand it. It's deeply un-American. It's exactly what a totalitarian, tyrannical government would do. And the 3,000 number, well, if you multiply it out by the number of days in a year, comes out to right around 1 million people deported. So they're probably trying to hit that in an arbitrary way. So look, the part that to me is, I guess, debatable, and I think it's about 80-20 in the country, but I'm happy to see polling that shows otherwise, is should we deport over 10 million people in the country that are, yes, came here without documentation, but we'd have to go get them from their homes and their places of work where they haven't committed any crimes. The criminal's already gone. Everybody agrees to that. So you can't use that as an excuse, right? Should we uproot these people that have been here for forever and in this vicious kind of way, with the collateral damage to American citizens, et cetera, and the terrorizing of our children in different ways, or should we not? I think 80% of the country says, no, don't do that. There's about 20, maybe 25% who say, yeah, I love it, I can't get enough of it.
I don't know what the numbers are, Cenk, but let's go to the other side of this issue, right? Because I don't agree with what ICE is doing, okay? They're traumatizing communities, they are detaining American citizens, they're brutalizing American citizens. I don't want them brutalizing anyone, by the way, to be clear. I get that people are here illegally. I get that there's a significant portion of this country that wants to do something about it. It doesn't mean that we have to be vicious, violent bullies and brutalize people in the process of doing this. I think there's a way to do this where, I don't know, you're a little more humane than what we've been witnessing ICE do in these blue cities. But the reason why Trump is sending ICE specifically to these areas is because of some of the statements and some of the actions taken by local politicians in these areas. So I'll give you an example that actually really infuriated me. The San Francisco Board of Supervisors voted on whether or not they should work with ICE to deport undocumented immigrants who are trafficking fentanyl in this country. My answer is hell yes, every single one of them. Bye-bye, I don't wanna see you, you don't belong here. You're trafficking fentanyl. Fentanyl's killing close to 100,000 Americans every year in this country. Bye. Only two members of the San Francisco Board of Supervisors said that, yeah, I should be able to deport them.
Out of how many?
I forget how many, I think around 9 if I'm not mistaken, okay. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I got you.
Or don't quote me on that.
Yeah, and so what do the other folks on the board say? We should keep them here? Well, I mean, like, what's the counter argument?
Their argument basically, look, for them, Trump is the nucleus of everything in this country, okay? Of their politics, of their political identity. And when you center Trump as like the, I guess the motivation for all of your political beliefs and values, you're gonna mess up because guess what? There are areas in which Trump is right. If you have people here illegally committing crimes that are getting people killed, they should be deported. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But since they want to resist Trump and their whole political identity is resist Trump, yeah, they'll even resist Trump when it doesn't even make sense to do so.
Yeah, I mean, resisting Trump on 90% of stuff is logical, and I get it if that's your gut reaction, but especially if you're on a board of supervisors or any kind of elected capacity, you've got to then pause and check your instinct and see if it's right. So Trump has done a lot of terrible things about Israel and Gaza, but when he had Israel turn their fighters around and not bomb Iran again, well, that was a good thing, right? I mean, we shouldn't have bombed Iran in the first place, but saying, no, I wish Trump hadn't done that, I wish he'd authorized Israel to continue bombing Iran, makes no sense, right? So obviously you have to check, wait, what did Trump say? And in this case, I think they're fighting windmills because I don't think if you poll the people in San Francisco, as progressive as that city is, I don't think you'll get a very high percentage of people who go, oh, a guy's selling fentanyl and he's undocumented. Oh, let's protect him because Trump wants to deport him. I don't think so. I think that's the Board of Supervisors. I don't think that's the citizens at all. No, if you come here and you've been here, even though you're undocumented, illegal, whatever, but you've been following the law and you're part of our community, we got to protect you, in my opinion, and in the opinion of the great majority of Americans, right? But if you're going around breaking the law, selling drugs, selling fentanyl that kills people, of course you got to go. Where's the question?
11, there's 11 members of the San Francisco Board of Supervisors.
Yeah, no, you don't get to come here, break laws, and say you have a right to stay. You literally don't have a right to stay, no. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets its wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.